Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our countdown of the top 30 black male celebrities who have, shall we say, stepped into a different kind of spotlight. But beware, this isn't just about fashion. This is about the devil's sneaky agenda to feminize men and demasculate them through the glitz and glamour of Hollywood. Let's take a look at who's fallen for it and who's trying to drag our children along with them. Let's start at number 30. Coming in with the big names, we have none other than King James himself, LeBron James. Yes, the man who's dominated the basketball court, conquered championships, and built schools for underprivileged kids, he too briefly swapped out the jersey for a dress. Now let's be real, LeBron is a powerhouse. When you're the king of the NBA, you pretty much don't have to do anything you don't want to do. Yet there he was, making a cameo in Trainwreck, going all in on a dress and wig. The man who can dunk from half court and carry a team on his back was out here in pearls and curls. Now this explains why he said there is no party like Diddy's party. At 29, we have Kevin Hart, the man who could make you laugh just by walking into a room. Known for his big personality packed into a small frame, Kevin isn't exactly one to shy away from the wild side of comedy. But then, there he was, in a dress, heels, and a wig, adding a little extra to his act. Fans couldn't help but wonder, was Hollywood giving him a nudge to try something unexpected? Number 28. Deion Primetime Sanders, one of the greatest athletes to grace both the football field and baseball diamond. Now you've got to understand, Deion didn't exactly need the publicity. Yet, when it comes to staying in Hollywood's good graces, sometimes the pressure to keep up, reinvent, and keep heads turned. Number 27, Shawn Wayans. Now, Hollywood got two for the price of one with the Wayans brothers in white chicks. Dressed head to toe as blonde socialites, Shawn might have thought he was just doing it for laughs. But the devil's intention? To show young men that masculinity is just a joke, a disposable trait to be discarded for a quick buck. Marlon Wayans. And right there with him at 26, Marlon Wayans. Whether it was the paycheck or something darker that convinced him to join the act, Marlon and his brother taught a whole generation that it's okay to laugh at what makes a man. But was it really funny or just a masterstroke in the devil's playbook to make men question their own identity? At 25, we have Brandon T. Jackson, followed in the size 13 heels of Martin Lawrence in Big Mama's Like Father Like Son. But did he know that with every step, he was walking deeper into the devil's trap? This wasn't just a movie role, it was a blueprint for confusion, passed on to the next generation. Number 24. Now, when Tracy Morgan showed up on The View as Star Jones, dressed to the nines, you could almost hear the devil whispering, "Promotion time." With a wig, heels, and his exaggerated "I am a lawyer" mantra, Tracy wasn't just playing a character, he was earning extra points on the devil's dress-up leaderboard. At 23, Pharrell Williams, who traded in his iconic hats for a tunic that could easily be mistaken for a dress. With a smile as sweet as his voice, Pharrell may have thought he was just pushing fashion boundaries. But what about the boundaries of manhood? The devil's influence was subtle but clear. Redefine masculinity until it means nothing at all. At number 22, Lakeith Stanfield. By the time he slipped into that dress for High Snow Beatty, the lines had already blurred for many. Was it a bold fashion statement, or just another move in the devil's game to make the absurd seem normal? For those watching, especially the young, it was a lesson in how to lose yourself one thread at a time. At 21, Kid Cudi, who took to the stage in a dress on SNL as a tribute to Kurt Cobain. But let's not kid ourselves. The devil's intention was clear, to show that even music's rebels could be tamed, softened, and dressed up in a way that made them more palatable to an agenda that's anything but rock and roll. And our kids, they saw it all and wondered if they should do the same. At 20, Ty Diggs took on the role of Hedwig in Hedwig and the Angry Inch. Now, this wasn't just a performance. It was a full-on embrace of the devil's plan to make men more versatile in the worst possible sense. The message to young men was unmistakable. Your identity is fluid, and Hollywood will mold it as they see fit. At number 19, CeeLo Green, always one to stand out, but not always for the right reasons. Whether it was a stage persona or a sign of something more sinister, CeeLo's choice to don dresses seemed less about self-expression and more about showing that the lines between male and female could be blurred until they disappeared. A devilish trick, indeed. At 18, the undisputed queen of drag, RuPaul. Now, RuPaul's been in the game a long time, and if anyone's orchestrating the devil's plan, it might just be him, her, oops. By turning drag into mainstream entertainment, RuPaul hasn't just sold his soul, he's packaged it, put it on TV, and made it a phenomenon. The young, they're tuning in, and they're taking notes. Number 17 is Kanye West, who pushed the envelope, and maybe some buttons, when he wore a Givenchy leather kilt. Was it fashion-forward, or just another step into the devil's den? With Kanye, it's always hard to tell. But one thing's for sure, young fans everywhere saw their idol in a skirt, and the message was clear. Nothing is sacred anymore. At 15, Lil Nas X, the internet's favorite provocateur. When he put on a dress, it wasn't just for shock value, though there was plenty of that. It was a signal to his young, impressionable fans that all the rules they thought they knew about gender were up for grabs. And who was holding the strings? The devil himself, pulling them tighter with every headline. At 14, Jaden Smith, the young prince of Hollywood royalty. When Jaden wore a dress, it wasn't just a rebellious act. It was a carefully curated step into a new world order where gender is whatever you make of it. The devil's plan? To make the young believe that in the quest for self-expression, nothing is off limits, not even their own identity. At number 13, Young Thug didn't just wear a dress on the cover of Jeffrey. He made it a fashion statement. But was it his statement or something much darker? With every stream and download, the devil's influence grew, whispering to the youth that masculinity is as disposable as the latest trend. At 12, the NBA's wild card, Dennis Rodman. Known for pushing boundaries, Dennis didn't just step into a dress, he jumped in headfirst. Whether it was the devil's influence or just a need for attention, Rodman showed the world that even the toughest athletes could be softened up. And the young fans watching? They learned that nothing is off the table, not even their role models. At 11, Wesley Snipes, who traded his vampire-slaying gear for a gown in To Wong Fu, thanks for everything, Julie Newmar. The devil's intention? To show that even the most masculine of men can be molded, reshaped, and dressed down, literally. Hollywood showed us that nothing is sacred, and the young audience was left questioning what it really means to be a man. Breaking into the top 10, Ving Rhames, who took on the role of a drag queen in Holiday Heart. Ving may have thought he was just acting, but the devil had bigger plans. By putting a strong, imposing figure like Ving in a dress, Hollywood sent a clear message to young men. Strength can be redefined, and not always for the better. What a shame. At number 9, the Fresh Prince himself, Will Smith in Aladdin, the he-turned genie, with enough blue sparkle to light up Agrabah. It's strange that he wore a dress. Was it part of the genie's charm, or Hollywood's ongoing push to demasculate men, even in the magical world of Agrabah? It seems Will Smith has found himself in a new kind of entanglement these days, this time with a dress. The Fresh Prince has gone from streetwise in Philly to dazzling in robes and sparkles, leaving us wondering just how many layers of flair Hollywood plans to add to his wardrobe. At 8, Chris Tucker, whose performance in The Fifth Element was as unforgettable as it was flamboyant. But when Chris donned that dress, was it really just about the character, or was it part of a larger plot? The devil knows that laughter is a powerful tool, and in Tucker's case, it was used to plant seeds of confusion in the minds of young fans. We all know that now Chris is a devout Christian as God forgives, but the internet doesn't forget. At number 6, Jamie Foxx, who gave us Wanda on In Living Color. Now, Jamie's one of the most talented men in Hollywood, but when he put on that wig and dress, it wasn't just about comedy. The devil's agenda was in full swing, using laughter as a veil for deeper intentions, to make the idea of a man in a dress not just funny, but acceptable. And the children? They laughed, but they also learned nothing. At 5, Martin Lawrence, who took the whole dress-wearing thing to a new level with Big Mama's House. Sure, it was comedy gold, but was it worth the cost? The devil's plan was simple. Normalize the image of a strong black man in a dress, and make sure the young ones think it's just part of growing up. Martin might have thought he was just entertaining, but in the end, he was playing right into the devil's hands. At number 4, Eddie Murphy, a comedy legend who brought us unforgettable characters in The Nutty Professor and Norbit. But each time Eddie slipped into a dress, the devil was there, whispering in Hollywood's ear, "Keep it coming." Eddie's performances were hilarious, but they also chipped away at the idea that men should be, well, women in the name of comedy. At number 3, we have the unstoppable Tyler Perry, the mastermind behind Madea. With her towering wig, housecoat, and no-nonsense attitude, Madea became a household name. But while Tyler Perry's creation brought in billions, it also pushed the devil's agenda further into the mainstream. With each Madea film, Hollywood continued to chip away at traditional masculinity, offering up a new version of what it means to be a man. What a contradiction, a Christian man in a dress? What will Jesus say? Number 2, Chris Rock, the comedian who doesn't need much more than a mic to make a room erupt in laughter. Yet even he took his turn in a dress, proving that no one is completely safe from Hollywood's fashion choices. Chris, who spent a career breaking down social issues with a sharp wit, found himself in a wig and heels, leaving fans wondering if he'd temporarily traded in his usual no-nonsense commentary for a bit of, well, satin and sequins. At number 1, the original trailblazer, Flip Wilson. When he introduced the world to Geraldine on The Flip Wilson Show, he wasn't just breaking boundaries, he was opening the door wide for the devil's influence in Hollywood. But behind the laughs, the devil was grinning. Flip's act wasn't just funny, it was groundbreaking, but not in the way we might want. It was a setup for all the black male comedians and actors that came after him. If we missed any celebrity who's rocked a dress, or if you've got someone in mind for the next episode, drop their name in the comments below. We might just feature them in our next deep dive. Like, share, and subscribe for more laughs and truth bombs. And hey, if you're a man and haven't subscribed yet, do it now, before the devil sneaks up and fits you for a dress. Catch you in the next episode.